Hello, this is Diane Birnholz, and I spoke to the Washington Post back in 2023 about the Brian Walshe murder case and the infamous Google searches that prosecutors say Brian Walshe made right around when his wife disappeared, including this one. Can you be charged for murder if there's no body? Well, the answer is yes, you can. And in fact, Brian Walshe was charged with murder, the first-degree murder of his wife, Anna Walshe, who disappeared on January 1, 2023. Anna's body has never been found. Now, murder cases without a body are notoriously difficult to prosecute, but here, a mountain of incriminating Google searches have made the prosecution's case much stronger in this no body case. So what happened is that the police searched a number of electronic devices back in 2023, including Brian Walshe's cell phone and his oldest son's iPad. So this was a 6-year-old's iPad. Very generally speaking, the Fourth Amendment provides that a search warrant is required whenever police want to search a location where an individual has a reasonable expectation of privacy. So this, of course, includes an individual's home, and courts have found that the search warrant requirement also applies to an individual's electronic devices. You, of course, have a reasonable expectation of privacy for all the information stored on your computer and on your cell phone. Likely some of your most private information is there. However, there are some exceptions to the search warrant requirement, meaning there are times where law enforcement can search a place where you have a reasonable expectation of privacy, even when they don't have a search warrant. One of those exceptions is the notion of consent. So if the police pull you over and say to you, "Hey, you have a taillight out, can we search your car?" And if you say yes, you've just given consent. Or if the police knock on your door and say, "We're conducting an investigation, can we please take a look around your apartment?" And if you say yes, then you've given consent, and the police can lawfully search your apartment or your car or wherever you gave consent for, even if they don't have a search warrant, and even if they don't have probable cause to search that location. Then say the police find something incriminating against you during that search, such as a bag of heroin or a murder weapon. And if you've given valid consent, then that evidence can come in against you. And if you end up getting charged with a crime and you go to trial, there may be a dispute over whether you voluntarily gave consent or were capable of giving consent, but just know that consent is an exception to the search warrant requirement. So here the police searched through and extracted data, including Google search histories on Brian Walshe's electronic devices. And what they found was shocking. So in my next video, I'm going to go through these Google searches that were attributed to Brian Walshe and the arguments that Brian Walshe made to try to keep these Google searches out of evidence in his upcoming trial, and how the judge ruled just this week. So please stay tuned. Thank you very much.